Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, day after Labor Day. Do not forget to go live on the gram. Good morning, gram fam. We are live here. It is Social Surge with Fly and Mo. I am Mo Regalado. And right over there is Fly Jamerson.
I still need to fix my wall. I don't look at it. You know what I mean? I mean, I do. I just stand there and admire it, actually. Sometimes.
You're like, it's so pretty.
You know what? It is pretty. And I have new additions that are certainly sitting unboxed on my desk. You're not live on the G.
What do you mean I'm not live on the G? It says I'm live.
Oh, okay. I don't see you. Make it a me problem, not a you problem.
Let me see. Yeah, it says I'm live and there's two people. Casey Calhoun's joined and Regalado Real Estate. Regalado Real Estate.
Bro.
Are with us on the Gram fam. Good morning, friends.
All right. I feel a type of way.
Casey Calhoun says live. So
Casey, my guy, Casey is great. If you don't follow Casey Calhoun, he obviously I am totally unbiased, but he is one of my favorite follows on this app. Has very interesting things to say about urban planning, retail, infrastructure, just like very, very interesting guy.
All the things.
Give him a follow. Sorry, that was early. I know I missed a million things, Casey. Go follow him.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Social Surge with Fly and Mo, and we are talking conferences, and we're actually continuing a conversation that we had last week about conference season. Today is the networking hangover, what to do after the conference. But before we get into that, we have to say shout out to Bo and Timmy Barron, Commercially Speaking podcast. Our episode, that's right, hers and mine. I think it's because we're mirrored, so it's that way.
It's fine.
Fly and our episode is now live on the YouTube, and you can find it there. It's like an hour and 29-minute episode.
We can talk. Y'all know we can talk about some social.
Yes,
not like we're really hurting for content there.
No. And because Timmy is he's such a marketing fiend, I would love to get us in a room, which might be scary, especially if we all have coffee, but just like pinging ideas off of each other, like content that we can, you know what I mean? Like it would be so cool. Anyway, that episode is live.
That's how it used to be. There used to be like 5 or 6 writers who would sit around in a room and they would lock themselves in the room. And some people still do this, but I'm talking about the people who were producing content specifically for like live television, like the guys who like wrote, Bob Hope's monologue or whatever, right? It's just really, I mean, if you have bros, first of all, if you have bros, making content will be so much more fun. It's insane. And for example, on X, Chad Griffiths, who we know and love, who wrote Industrialize, just came out with Industrialized Junior, which is a children's book version, like a little golden book version of Industrialize, interpreted as a story that came out of a joke between me and Nick Ihorn.
Right? How amazing is that?
And you want to know what? I bought the book. That is now my birthday present, writ large, across the board, blanket gift. Just going to buy a whole palette for all my kids' friends. And I know we're totally off topic, shocking, but I truly believe that, so still, a year and a half ago, I had no idea who all you people were. Had never heard the name Bob Knackle. Didn't understand what a cap rate was. Jury is still out on whether. Don't ask me to explain it. I'm so sorry. It's bad. But I didn't have any idea what any of this is. And commercial real estate in popular entertainment and in stories and in movies has a bad rap. And so, as much as we as an industry are thirsty for content that is entertaining and like engaging for us and our peers. Like, I believe, and this is sort of a personal vendetta that I have, is that there need to be more positive narratives about what the work is that we're actually doing in this industry, because everybody that I've met in this industry, 97% of them, are here to make the world a better place and are genuinely good people. And so kudos 100% for Chad releasing a children's book halfway as a joke, because if we really want some things to change around here, like, the journey starts in the children. Okay, what are we talking about?
Well, no, just to kind of jump on that real quick. Also, I think people don't realize that everything is commercial real estate, right? Like, that was a realization that I had, like going to a doctor's office, going to a mall or retail, any kind of retail, going to a grocery store, going to a restaurant, right? Going to an office. Right. Everything, like, if you really like look at it, even development, land development, everything is commercial real estate. It's kind of this weird realization that you have. At least it was an epiphany. Yeah, it was an epiphany for me, because it was just like, wow, that's crazy. So super funny. You just joined my Instagram.
I know, because I saw it pop up live.
I was like, okay.
I'm not trying. Yeah, I like to see the comments if I'm over here. Like, I missed Casey. Anyway, so.
Okay. We are talking about the networking hangover, what to do after the conference. We have been talking about that it is conference season. And if you didn't know, in like 8 days, CREI Summit is happening. We'll be at Palm Desert. I don't know if you can still get tickets. I think we have like 100 and some odd people already signed up, which is going to be crazy.
It's over 130. I know really? For sure. Yeah. And record ticket sales, record sponsorships. Like, it's like, it's very exciting to get people who are excited about social media in the room together. But I did see late last week on X that there were still some people squeaking by. So especially it is probably less feasible for you if you are on the East Coast. I would still love to see your face there. But if you are on the West Coast, guys, come on down. Like, there's unsanctioned like Monopoly tournaments that are going to be happening. There's
are they putting it together?
I apparently need to do some follow-ups, but that was the plan. Mr. Davidson, if you're around, you made some promises. So go ahead.
There's that, and then there is on Wednesday, there's the mini putt golf tournament between Ken Ashley and Bob Knackle. That's at 4:30 p.m. That is it's all for charity and reputation. It's all on the line. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then after the dinner that we have on Wednesday, which is kind of like the opening night thing, Bob Knackle will be signing custom custom baseball cards that are only going to be available to people at CREI Summit. Only available to you. I will be launching those later on this week to show people what they look like, but you only get to see the front part of it. You don't get to see the rest of it. So
my cards are on my wall right here. One of the best pieces of advice I got in this industry when I was just starting out before I came to CREA Summit was not to act like a fangirl. But now that and just like, if you appreciate somebody's content, tell them, but be respectful. First of all, I also want to say, and he won't remember this, but I will always, is that when I shook Bob's hand for the first time, I spilled water all over myself. Just everywhere, right? And, however, now that I'm a little bit more established and it's a part of my shtick, I will 100% openly fangirl about the fact that we have a limited edition BK card coming out, because I am missing one, and I'm on eBay every day trying to find it.
Tell people what you learned about the conferences, not just that you were there.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So conferences are great for meeting people, swapping cards, grabbing selfies, of course. But what happens after the event? Most of the ROI is lost in the follow-up. And I know we've all been there, right? We go to the conference, we have a great time. We have all these business cards, or my favorite, we have the little, you did the little square on your phone, and now you have somebody in your contacts that you can't freaking remember who the hell they are.
Gosh.
Because they just get lost in your contacts, right? Unless you're immediately texting right then and there, like, hey, this is Mo. I'm with Mobile Media Marketing. It was great talking with you. We'll connect next week, right? So we're talking about when today we're talking about how the real work starts after the conference, what you need to do, and some of the tools and workflows that we use that help us after those conferences. So, you spent 3 days, you got together with people, you had a great time. Now what?
Sleep.
Actually, after CREI Summit, yes, it'll be like,
yeah, I'm not going to sleep. I barely slept at ICSC, and I'm barely going to sleep at CREI. But no, I mean, beyond the sleep and the recovery and beyond the follow-up and beyond getting back into your email inbox, which if you've taken some of Topher's advice, then maybe they actually won't have a problem with that. We'll see how that goes this time. But get into the practice of, in the same way that if you don't put your little like business card directly into your digital machine, like you need to do the same thing for your takeaways. You need to do your same thing for like the stuff that impacted you. Now, sometimes I like to gamble, and so this is, sometimes I will let an impulse like simmer. Like you also don't need to like absolutely like churn out everything all the time, but you need to get in the practice of remembering like what stuck with you in the moment. Now, like if you are deep into your content and you're regularly articulating the things that you see and hear that shape your perspective that you're sharing, like you can let something kind of like rest on the back burner and come back around to it. Remember, don't force the takeaway, but at the same moment that you are putting the cards, all the info in your CRM and setting up notifications to follow up, you want to go back and actually just look. This is something that I do. Go back and look at your calendar of all of the meetings that you made, or good morning. Oh, Miss Doubtfire, I love it. But also go back through the conference program. And make a little note for yourself of just like, like this is what this was about. That like do your own artificial intelligence like breakdown of like, oh yeah, this is what this was, and this is what this was, and this is what this was, right? So you can pinpoint those moments or those like sort of like triggers of something that might be worth talking about.
Yeah, one of the things that I like to do with business cards, especially if I receive a business card, is I put a real quick note on the backside of it, or I'll wherever I can find somewhere to write. Yep, wherever I can write something on there, just so that there's a trigger. Like maybe we talked about social, maybe we talked about websites, maybe we talked about email marketing, right? And something that you said that will stick in my brain, so I'll put it on the card so that when I get back home, because as I've mentioned many, many times, super ADHD, I could talk to you and 3 minutes later not remember your name. And that's just how my brain goes. So when I get home and I finally look at the card, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I talked to this person. This is what they wanted to talk about. Now let's create that email sequence. Did you notice I said the word sequence? It's not just one and done. And it's not sequins. Though I do love sequins, and I tried to get a pair of shoes.
Hold on. Yeah. The kids have the sequin shirts that you can like change the color. Yes. We need email sequins, but it's in sequins.
Yes.
And then it changes. Sorry. Put it in the
Actually, then it changes to pitch slap.
No, but yes. So, but like I think the point that both of us are trying to drive home is that you need a system so that you don't miss out, so that you don't drop the ball, so that you don't forget what the heck was said. Also, I liked the little cameo of what the heck on your phone, by the way. Thanks. So you don't forget what was said, and you don't lose out on the incredible opportunity that you created by the fact that you were in the room, right? And so that is, again, the point. I gotta stop saying again. That is the point of social media. One point is that it sustains those touches, those in-person connections and collisions, like
I love that.
Grows them exponentially, right? And so whatever it is with the business cards, the connections, your thoughts, like you need to have a system set up so that you're not losing out on those opportunities.
How do you spell collision?
COLLISIONS. Take me to Washington, but for the spelling bee. No, please don't.
I was
So
going to say, I love what you said, in-person connections and collisions, because literally sometimes that happens at conferences.
yes.
Like you literally like bump into somebody, you're like, oh my God, I love you so much, right? Like at least that's me. I will do that. And so, but those
sometimes that's all the time that you have also. Like sometimes you want to know what? I will say, even if you have like an important relationship and then like the time that you squeaked in together was like literally 2 minutes and a hug and a bye, I'm late to my meeting, like that again, very powerful because you're of the strength of the relationship that you've built with them offline. Sometimes that little mwah is all that you need. I'm specifically thinking of Corey Zelnick, by the way, and I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to connect with him again at CREI Summit. So how do we follow up without being salesy? Again, we laugh about being pitch slapped, right? Nobody wants that. And I know I'm one of those people that like, I don't know, sometimes you're on somebody's email list and you're like, how the hell did I get on this email list? First of all, you are not providing value to me. Second of all, that is not my industry. My industry is marketing, and like you're trying to sell me a building. And if I was an investor at this time, I'd probably appreciate that, but I'm not. So you're barking up the wrong tree. But the easiest way to do the follow-up is to start with gratitude, right? Mm-hmm. So start with gratitude. Make sure that when you are connecting with them in that follow-up, and it doesn't necessarily have to be email. It could be a DM on LinkedIn or X or whatever. Write in your note what it was about what they said or what they did or how they made you feel in the note. Make it personal, not, it was so great to meet you. What? Okay. Thanks.
I know it was so great to meet me. That's not a value add. I would never say that.
What?
Nothing. Every time I like to like make a little joke that I'm very self-confident, and then as soon as I do it, I still have to tell the I broke a window once story when I was trying to make a joke. But no, yeah, like like sharing with people the things that they did, because here, like, especially if you're at a like CREI Summit very specifically, but in general, like, especially if someone gave a talk or some kind of presentation, or like you just had a conversation with them that was, revelatory and impactful for you in some way. You want to know what? I know that sometimes brokers get a bad rap for having egos, but a meaningful compliment like that can go a long way, because some of I am seeing everything behind the scenes for how some of these events come together, and there is a lot of effort that people have no idea is there. And so, if someone has contributed something to your experience of an event, whether it's one-on-one or the greater programming, like, tell them, because they worked hard to do that, and they have everybody has the same level of like, wow, I wonder if that was good. You know what I mean? So
yep. Well, and we're all busy, right? And so a lot of times, a lot of these conferences are put on by volunteers because it's important to them. And so they're doing all of their stuff that they normally do, plus all of their family stuff. So you definitely, so then they're pouring in. So it's nice if you can just tell them, hey, you did a great job. It seems kind of trite to say that, but it's absolutely 100% true.
And so much better than it was great to meet you, because it was great to meet you is about your experience and really not about them. You know what I mean? And it's a very subtle psychological thing and shift that you can change in the way that you engage with people. But yeah, sorry, I was looking at my notes and distracting myself.
So when you're doing that follow-up and you don't want to be salesy, think about what you can offer the other person, right? Whether it's a compliment, like we were just talking about, maybe it's a resource or an article, or just a shout out, right? Like you could go on to LinkedIn and put, CREI Summit was I was a first time attendee at Ken Ashley, at Sarah Malcolm, at Amy Calandrino, at Fly Jamerson, did such an amazing job putting together this program. here are my key takeaways, right? That's what we consider, that is considered earned media when you tag other people, because you are mentioning them to your audience, which might not be their audience. And so people get introduced to them that way. It is a lovely way to be able to connect with somebody after a conference. So now let's talk about turning your conference moments into content, right? We talked about this last week. You can do stuff on, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say it. You can do stuff in the moment, not on the fly. In the moment.
Oh, in the no, that's so great, because you're in the moment, on the fly. Oh no, I'm gonna write a rap.
Which you still have to share your Zydeco music with us. Anyway.
Oh God, no,
Has it gotten bad?
It's gotten worse in the best way.
What's the program you're using? Hold on. What's the program you're using?
Suno. Highly recommend. I'll do a post about it sometime.
Is it suno.com or suno.io or?
Google it. I'm not sure. That was rude of me to say. Gosh,
you're fine, dude. Suno, Google it. I'm literally putting that in the comments. Suno, right. Google it. It's make really AI music.
Here's what I want to say. This is my general disclaimer on every single AI generative tool ever, is please consider that what is cool to make and cool to experience making is not always an effective product.
Yes.
Just blanket. Like, you are going to have so much fun making some of this stuff. The dopamine that you feel from producing something creative that is cool, that you like have these tools that you can do now, that is not the same. That feeling of what you get from that experience will not be communicated from someone just consuming it. So just blanket.
Well, there's also the idea that we fall in love with the product that we produce, and so we get upset when people don't love it as much as we do.
You have to kill your darlings. Just get rid of them. You love to make them, and then just buy. You're not good. Okay.
ACPX, thanks for joining us on Instagram. We were talking about what to do after the conference, and Fly was just mentioning Suno, which is where you can create AI generated music. So here's posts that you can do after a conference. We already talked about it, the shout out post, right? Then you can share your takeaway post, the top 3 takeaways. I love takeaways because it helps reinforce what you learned. And then it also shares, it gives you content. Everything's fresh, right? Everything's fresh. It's already there. Just type it out. Put it in your notes, make your notes, and then go back and take a look at it.
Make a voice note.
Yep. You have story posts. You can do an industry post where what is everybody talking about at the conference, right? Everybody's talking about AI. Everybody's talking about data centers. Everybody's talking about Chad Griffith's new book for kids.
Right? I don't have it yet. It's not here.
Industrialized Junior, right? You can do a video recap, i.e. go take a look at what I'm blanking on his name. Alvaro, thank you. Cortez did after SIOR, right?
There's another he was an ICSC creator. He's got some various different content series that he does, but Hugh Chen is another person who I think does really excellent on-site like coverage content with interviews and stuff. So that's another person as a case study that you can go check out.
So if you learned it, you can share it. And if you felt it, you can post it, right?
Oh, I love that.
So it's like, honestly, we've talked about this all the time. Did it affect you in a certain way? If it did, then that is absolutely shareable content. Maybe it's I got to meet such person in real life and they're so much cooler. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Fly and I are way cooler in real life.
How is that possible? I feel like maybe that is true of you and not very true of me.
Stop. No, we have like chaotic energy, so just be prepared, right?
And we've only seen each other twice in real life, so you better believe we're gonna be having some fun together.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay.
But okay, one of the questions that I get the most in general, not just on the topic of conference content, but people are like, oh, what do I actually talk about? And so, but I think that, again, learning to get into the practice of articulating what you were experiencing. Yes, Marcy, yes, 100%. Post, don't ghost the post, host the post. That's a shirt, and then it's ghost, but then the G is crossed out, and then it's Halloween, so it could be spooky. Okay, so, but the topic of what you actually talk about is something that you will need to get into the practice of doing. So one thing that you can do if you are wanting to sit down and generate some material for yourself, but you kind of are getting stopped up, like go open up your good friend chat. Just open her right up and have it interview you about your experience.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, have it interview. I've been doing this a lot because I also just like spend too much time by myself, and I'm, I prefer sometimes conversation, right? So have it interview you about your experience, like what resonated with you, what did you really agree with? Like these are, if you have like three, you want to break this down into threes, like on the topic of like a takeaway post, like what was said in the room that you really agree with? What was said in the room that you don't agree with at all? And what was said in the room that you didn't understand? And how can you start a conversation around that? Like, because those three things you can insert into every single experience that you want to write about. Because you will, if it's something that you agree with, you can share your perspective on why. And you will become a magnet to people who also agree with you or share those values or like are interested in that same topic. If you write about something that you really disagree with, by like drawing a line in the sand, you will create controversy, and controversy creates conversation, and those conversations lead you either to confirmation of your idea, connections with people who also share that idea. You've created space to disagree, and that is important. And like, whether or not we like it, controversial, hot, spicy takes on social media get a lot of engagement, and that engagement gets views, and those views like eventually lead to the kinds of things that lead to deals.
However, caveat on that, please recognize your audience. And if everything you do is a hot take and is super spicy, you might be turning your potential prospect client off based on that, which you could be like, it's fine if your ego's like, I don't care, they're not my people anyway. Great. But I mean, feast or famine, right? So why would you piss off potential prospects and clients by doing that all the time just because you want to look freaking cool on social?
And this is where I'm not suggesting you try to go rage bait. Not at all. I am trying to suggest that you be clear about some of those perspectives that you may have that differentiate you from how most people do whatever it is that you do, and why maybe you do it better. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, I do this better or I think better. Like, no, I'm not trying to say that. And so that, again, maybe there's a future conversation to be had about the nuance of tone. And I can think of some examples like, Trepwire right off the top of my head of like, they have very, I would say that they often will dissent from popular takes because of their approach of data storytelling. And the way that they share that perspective is quite tasteful. And so you don't need to be, wow, I almost named names. You don't need to be a rude person on X to etc. But I digress. What I'm saying is like there you need to start looking for the opportunities where you can align yourself inside of some positioning, look at the conversations that are happening in front of you, and then create content around that. Like that's just it. Sorry.
Conversations create content. It's that simple, right? Like if whether you agree, disagree, or don't understand, all of that stuff creates content, which is an amazing thing to have. And if you're one of those people that's like, I don't know what to post, well, that's what you post, right? She just gave you 3 great things. what I agree with, what I disagree with, what I didn't understand, right? You can do a hot take, you can do a belief shifting post, you can do a value add post. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do after a conference. You can talk about, maybe before you go to a conference, you're like, here are the people that I'm looking forward to meeting. And then after the conference, it's like, okay, I mentioned last week that I wanted to meet certain people in this industry. Here are the 3 people that I met that hit all of those things. And you have a selfie with them, you have a picture with them, whatever, right? And then you post them and you tag them. It's earned media for them. It gives you content. It's top of mind, right? And you're sharing your industry and what you learned. It's just, content does not have to be hard. Y'all need to get out of your heads when you're thinking about content. Like, what do I post? Post what you learned. Post what you know. So networking doesn't end at the end of the conference. It is just the beginning, right? It is just the beginning. Absolutely. Fly and I met for the first time at CREI Summit. Had we done our video yet?
We did. I believe we had.
Had we done that already?
Yeah.
And then we started chit-chatting and talking back and forth, and then we started Social Surge. Like, it's just grown from there, right? But it's a real life connection. We talk every single day. Like, we're in multiple conversations. We enjoy each other's yes, we enjoy each other's company. But it's great to find people that you can align yourself with at these conferences, but you have to do the follow-up. Don't just leave them hanging. So what I would love to see is the next time that you guys are at a conference, right? Next time you guys are at a conference, after the conference or during the conference or whenever you can, within 24, 48, 72 hours, I want you to post something about what excited you. What did you learn? What did you agree with? What did you disagree with? What didn't you understand? There's 5 things that you can put out there that people are going to see. And then also, people have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. People want to go to these conferences, but they can't for whatever reason. And so the more that you post, the more that you show that you were involved, the more that these people are going to get interested in what you have to say. Okay, I'm done. Rant over.
I think somebody just knocked on my door.
Did they really?
To my house. Yep. I think that means we need to leave.
Okay, we will see you guys back here on Thursday. This has been Social Surge with Fly and Mo. Don't forget, we have our school group. It's right down there at the bottom, Social Mastery VIP, where we talk about the entire marketing ecosystem. We would love to have you in the group, and we will see you back here on Thursday. Goodbye.